Hey, thank you so much for coming to this video. I am so happy that you guys have made it this far. If you are enjoying this course so far, please make sure you leave me some positive feedback. This is my first Udemy course, so I really hope that you guys have appreciated the pace. I hope I haven't gone too fast, and I hope that everything was clear. If you would like more tutorials like these focusing on making films for Hollywood, Hollywood style production, let me know in the comments, and please leave me some good reviews. And if you found this course helpful, the best thing you can do, the best compliment you can give me, is to share this on social media with your friends, make videos on YouTube, and make sure that you share that you learn this techniques from me. And you can also link me and you can tweet me. I would really appreciate that. So let's go ahead and finalize this course. After this video, there is only going to be maybe 1 or 2 more videos, and then that'll be it for this course. You've completed the course, okay? So we're gonna talk about physics, and we're also gonna talk about, let's see, what else is happening in this scene? Particle effects, right? To make some gunfire effects, and some smoke. Let's see, what else are we going to talk about? So that's pretty much it, and so let's get started. Okay, all right, so right now we have the agents firing at Neo. Let's take a look at what's going on. We have several cameras here, and don't worry guys, this particular scene here that you see, I have included it in the Udemy course, so you'll be able to play with this. You have complete control. I've already animated everything for you, so you can download this project file, exactly what you see here, and you can use it in iClone, and you can edit it and play around. Okay, so we have a lot to do, so let's get started. I have right now camera 1. This is camera 1. Let's see how this looks. Okay, and let's switch to camera 2. Okay, so we have some nice effects, some nice particles. It's camera 4. Okay, and this is Neo stopping the bullet. Okay, and camera 5. Okay, and camera 6. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is what we have so far. And like I said, I have already uploaded this project file for you guys to use. Okay, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this. So please make sure you download this project file so you can follow along with me, because I'm going to reverse engineer this and start from scratch so you can see how I created this effect. Okay, let's take a look at our scene. Okay, and that concludes the scene that we're creating. So we have already done all this, and that's what you see here. I think this is it here. This is the final product. Okay, so there you have it. That's the final product. Let's get started. We have a lot of work to do, so let's do that now. Let's go inside of iClone. Okay, so you should have downloaded the project file that I provided for you, and when you download it, this is how it's gonna look. Okay, and when you push play, this is how it's gonna look. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how did we do this? What's going on? Okay, so step one, we have to make the agents actually shoot their gun. If you remember, in the last video we left off where we positioned the agents to shoot, but we did not have any bullets in the scene and we had no particles. So another thing too that you realize is that the agent's hands are actually moving. They're not just stiff. So they're moving. You can see his hands are moving. Okay. Okay, so that movement, animating the hand. Okay, great. So if you know how to use iClone, then you probably already know how we did the hand movements. But for those of you who might be new to iClone, the way that we did that was by simply selecting the character, and you're gonna go to modify. And all I did was, when you have the agent in this position, it's really easy. You go to the direct puppet and you just select the hand and click preview. And now you can move. You see that? So wherever I move the hand, okay. Excuse me guys, sorry. Okay, so that's how you animate the hand, and you would just push record and push the spacebar and move the mouse to however you want to animate the hand. So that's how I did the hand movements for all three of the agents. So when you see their hands slightly moving as they shoot for that added realism, that's how I did that. Okay, so that answers question 1. Now the bullets. How did I make the bullets? The fake bullets that you see here, it's just a box. That's all it is. Just go to create, and I usually just use box. So all of these are just boxes, and all I did was I just scaled it down, and then I moved it in place to look like a bullet. Because when you're prevising, it doesn't need to be so specific. You don't have to actually model a bullet. Hollywood directors, they're smart. They know that this is supposed to be a bullet, so you don't have to be too specific when you're doing previs. You can just use dummy objects and it'll get the point across. Okay, so that's what I did. I just created some dummy bullets and I positioned them in place, and then I control drag to make copies, and I dragged some over here and I put some over there, and then I copied the bullet again and I put some over there. And so that's basically what I did to make these dummy bullets. Okay, so I'm just gonna delete this. It's just a box. Hold on, make sure that I'm selecting only the box. Okay, so that's how that was done. Okay, so the next thing, after you animate the hand, and so I've shown you how to animate the hand, and I've shown you how to add the dummy bullets. The next thing that you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to animate the bullets somehow to make it at least look like bullets. So to do that, again, you don't have to be extremely particular and specific, because as long as you get the point across, that's really what matters. You don't have to be too precise when you're doing previs. Don't focus too much on perfectionism on things that don't matter. The things that you have to be perfect on are things like timing and good acting. Those are the things that you don't want to compromise on. But things like whether or not the bullet comes from inside of the hole, you don't need to really worry about stuff like that, because when this film is actually made in Hollywood, they will do all of that. Okay, so your job as a previs artist is just to get the part across. You don't have to be don't be too specific. Don't waste time animating things that the director doesn't really need you to spend that much time on. Okay. Okay, so to animate the bullets, let's start with this one, because you want to give each bullet their own unique animation, so that way it's not too uniform. If you apply the same animation to all the bullets and all the bullets are going at the same speed at the same time, then that's boring. That's not realistic. So you can see I have this one coming, I have that one going there, and because it's the Matrix, the beautiful thing about the Matrix is that it defies logic. The Matrix is not a normal film, so there are things you can do in the Matrix that you couldn't do in normal films, right? So having bullets just flying and create a cool effect is really all that matters. To animate this bullet is really simple. It's the same way you animate anything else. You have a start position and you have an end position. So the bullet is here. This is the start position here. You just you move to the end position where you want the bullet to end, and you drag it there. Okay, it's really straightforward. Don't be intimidated by this at all. It's extremely straightforward. By this point, if you've been following the tutorials that I've given you so far, you will see how you can easily do this yourself. Okay, so you have a start position and you have an end position. Okay, so that's all you would do. That's how you animate anything in iClone, is you have a start position, you have an end position. So this bullet starts over there and it ends over here. All you have to do is use the gizmo to drag it. Okay, that's all you have to do, and it will animate. And so you do that for all these boxes. You do that individually for each one. You have a start position over there, switch to the end position, use the gizmo to drag the box to wherever you want the bullet to end, and then just push play, and then it's moving. Okay, so that solves the question of how to animate the bullets. Now you know how I did that. How to animate the hand gestures to simulate firing a gun. Now you know how we did that. And now let's get into the time-consuming part of this tutorial, which is the particle effects. How did we do that? Okay, so there's quite a lot of particles here. As I showed you before, with each agent, there's a particle attached to the pistol, and then there's a particle attached to each bullet. Okay, each bullet has its own particle. So this pistol is its own entity. That's number one. Okay, this bullet is its own person. Okay, and you can attach objects to this bullet. Right now this bullet is attached to this hand. To attach an object to something, it's very simple. You just right click that and then you click attach, and then you just attach it to whichever body part. So we're attaching it to the hand, so that's what we did. Okay, so this hand is a parent of this gun, meaning that wherever you move this hand, the gun will follow. Okay, so now we want to attach a particle to this gun, so that wherever you move the gun, the particle will follow, and the gun is controlled by the hand. Okay, so that's the hierarchy there. Okay, so that's why when we were doing this, if you remember when we did this, the particle follows the gun because we've attached it to the pistol. Okay, so now you understand what's going on. I've attached 3 explosives to the front of the pistol, and that one, and also this one. Okay, that's step 1. Now, which particle effect did I use? I just used the standard particle effect that comes with iClone because I wanted to make sure that all of you would be able to follow along. So if you go to the Content tab and click on the set and click on prop, no, not prop, click on particles, you're gonna see an explosion here. Just double click this to add it to the scene. Okay, so we've added an explosion now to our scene. Let's push play and see what happens. Wow, so that's a very big explosion. Obviously we don't need it to be that big because we're just trying to fake a gunshot effect. We don't need an explosion, we just need it to look like it's a gunshot fire. So now we have to edit this explosion so that it's not so big. Okay, it's too big. So to do that, first we're going to select our particle. Let's push play. Oh my goodness, it's so big. To edit this particle, go to modify, and you're going to see a little P here. Click on the popcorn effects button, and now we have all these different dials that we can use to edit this particle. Okay, the first thing that we want to do is we want to scale it down a bit. Okay, so it's not so big. Okay, so now it's a little bit smaller. I would say let's scale it down maybe even some more. Okay, there we go. And fire opacity, let's change the color to yellow. Okay, and now let's say the fire life, let's put it all the way down to 0. Okay, and the flux maybe all the way to 0, and let's push play. Okay, now maybe the power should be a little bit more. Okay, ribbon flux all the way down. Let's see. Okay, so now we have something. Debris flux. Okay, ribbon flux. Okay, so we don't want that. Let's do maybe the regular flux. Okay, so we don't like that either. All right, debris length. Now what's important here is the smoke gravity, debris length, and light intensity. Okay, so okay, this is trial and error. This is one of those things you play with until you get something that you like. There is no right and wrong, it just depends on what you like. Okay, so if you like that, for instance, then once you have an effect that you like, okay, you're just gonna move it into place. That's all you're gonna do. Okay, so now you can see that this is emitting from the top. So you want to make sure that you turn this around like this, because now it's going to emit this way. Okay, let's see, fire life, lifetime, smoke, flux, ribbon. Okay, let's see. Distortion intensity, you want to push that all the way up. Okay. So you're just going to play with this until you find an effect that you like, okay? Because you're in charge. So you just play with that until you find something you like. And when you find an effect that you like, then you're just going to drag this in place and position it properly in front of the pistol. Push play. Okay. If you think this is good, then what you're gonna do now, and again, make sure it's properly positioned, make sure it lines up very well with the pistol. And when you have it in a position you like, you're just going to right click and you're going to say attach to pistol and click on the pistol. Okay, and then you're going to go to the scenes tab. This is your explosion right here. Okay, once you attach it to the pistol, it's going to show inside of the character. It's going to become part of the character. Okay, so if this is the character right here, then once you attach this to the character, it's going to show inside the character. So this is the explosion that I've already attached. So I'm going to delete this one because I already did this. I already have one. Here it is. I'm going to click this so you can see. So here it is right here. Okay. So as you can see, I have this explosion attached already to my gun, and the gun is a part of my person, so it's all inside of this agent. Okay, so in this agent, here are all the things attached to this agent. Okay, all right, so now I'm just gonna hide this. Make sure you click the eyeball to hide this dummy object so you don't see it when you render, and you would just repeat that 3 times. That same process, repeat that 3 times, and that's how you are going to create a desirable smoke effect. And that distortion effect, that beautiful distortion effect, that's because if you remember, when you select your explosion, you make sure that you click a very high amount for your distortion. So distortion intensity, you want to click high amounts for this. That's what makes it shake. It makes the screen wobbly. So that wobble effect, that's because of the distortion intensity. Okay, so that's how you add the gunfire effect to the guns. But what about the bullets? Because if you remember, in the Matrix, the bullets have this nice effect. And so how do you kind of make this effect on the bullets? How do you do that? Well, the closest thing that we can do, let's see. So you see how the bullets kind of have a trail? So that's what you see here. Okay, and so to create that trail, to make the bullets kind of have that trail, that distortion wobble effect, you would just do what you did for the pistols. You do that to the bullets. Okay, but this time, instead of using an explosion, we use a fire effect. So there's a fire particle attached to each one of these bullets, and I'm going to show you. So this is the first box. Okay, if you click the down arrow, we're gonna see that we have a torch fire attached to the bullet, not to the gun. It's attached to the bullet. Okay, if I move this, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so we have a fire effect attached to the back of every bullet. Okay, so as you can see, every bullet has fire attached. Okay, and so that's how you're getting this effect. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. Again, the best way to learn is just by practicing. So I've provided this project for you so you can practice. You can reverse engineer this, spend some time playing with it, look at every object so you can see everything that's attached to it, and you can see how to manipulate these different particle effects. Like for instance, this one, if you select on the torch fire and go to modify, click on the P, and you're going to see that all of the settings that I used to get the effect are here, and you can just kind of play with these settings to create your own custom effect. Okay, one more thing that I forgot to tell you, which is super important, is that you have to actually animate. You can animate the gunfire effect. So on the pistol, let's go back to this character. Let's use this one. So this fire effect, the reason this is constantly firing like a gun is because we had to add custom keyframes. So I'm going to show you what I did. This right here are the custom keyframes that I added to this particle effect to make it behave like a gunfire. So poof, 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 right? So that constant firing motion is because I had to create custom keyframes. And to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the particle, okay? Because once you attach the particle to the gun, it's going to fire just once, and then that's it. But what if you needed to fire, stop, then fire again, then stop, like a gun, right? So guns will fire, then stop, then fire again, poof, 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 poof. So to create that on and off, on and off, on and off, you have to create keyframes by simply clicking the on and off button. So right now it's off, right? And then when you push play, it goes to the first keyframe. Okay, when you push play, it automatically fires. And if you want it to stop, you have to tell it to stop by pushing the off button. Okay, and then you scroll again in the keyframe to where you want to go off again, and then you switch it to on. So if you pay attention right here, you're going to see that as I scroll through the timeline, this is switching from on to off, on, off, on, off. And that's just how you animate it to make it seem like a gunshot. You see? So on, off, on, off, on, off. And that's what gives it that firing effect. Okay, so as I scroll, now it's off. Then I scroll again, now it's on, set keyframe. Then scroll again in the timeline, switch it to off, set keyframe, and then just keep doing that. Just keep doing that. And then once you have your keyframes for one animation, you're just going to copy that and paste it to the other two agents so you don't have to redo this all over. Okay, so that's how this was done. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. This concludes the animation portion of this course. In the last video, we're going to tie everything together, and I'm going to show you how to finalize your edit inside of Shotcut. And so stay tuned.